Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to present my paper on managing and measuring food security through public distribution system, a case of urban slum. Before that, I just want to thank Center for Business and Economic Research, UK, Journal of Business and Retail Management Research, and Center for the Study of Organized Crime for giving me the opportunity to present my paper. And I will quickly take you to the agenda of today's topic, genesis of food security indicators, indices of coping strategies, public distribution system, issues and challenges, research design, and data analysis. So while coming to UK yesterday, I have just was looking at the map and there was written Milton Keynes. So that reminded me that, yes, the Keynesian economics tells us that the intervention of government is very important in improving the development of any economy. So with that thing in my mind, I would like to introduce you with the public distribution system of India, which is basically the management of food economy in India is the sole responsibility of the public distribution system, which is the major public intervention and by definition look after the supply chain management with the help of Food Corporation of India, which is responsible of procurement of food grains for the whole nation. Now, quickly, I would move to the second slide, that it is important to tell you that it is one of the world's largest subsidized food distribution management system with supply chain including procurement, transportation, storage and distribution through 5 lakhs fair price shops across India and currently serves around 65 million of the poorest families across India with monthly supplies of wheat, rice, sugar, kerosene oil, etc. It is one of the most serious process indicators of food security. Now, this paper tries to draw an association between the public distribution system in ensuring food security vis-a-vis household coping strategies with the help of qualitative and quantitative methods in an urban slum of Uttar Pradesh. That's a place, a state in India. The findings to a larger extent can be generalized to the rest of the urban slum population of the district and state as well. The paper also discusses the issues the PDS faces and analyzes the potential changes the National Food Security Act 2013 would bring into Uttar Pradesh food management system. Now, further moving on, let me tell you that there are many ways to measure food security. And out of those, these 4 measurement techniques that are given by Food and Agriculture Organization, I have chosen the indices of coping strategies. That is, I tried to analyze the families in that place and I wanted to know what are the coping strategies when they don't have food or when they have little food. So this was the method of method that is called as indices of coping strategies. And then let me tell you what is the National Food Security Act in India. It is basically the National Food Security Act 2013 is an act of the Parliament of India which aims to provide subsidized food grains to approximately 2/3 of India's 1.2 billion people. It includes integrated child development services schemes and the midday meal schemes, the public distribution system, and also recognizes maternity entitlements. What is indices of coping strategy? It is an index based on how households adapt to the presence of threat of food shortages. It is also called as outcome indicator. Now, moving further, let me tell you, these are the pictures that are captured by me, and this is the place which I did my research. I conducted a primary survey there, and this is the residential area. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, what is the condition. This is the commercial area where there are very small, unorganized factories. Now, why is it important to conduct research? The world is talking about food security, and it is the second most important point of sustainable development goals as well, because India ranks 134th out of 193 countries in the 2024 UNDP Human Development Index and 105th out of 127 countries in the Global Hunger Index 2024. So GHI score is 27.3, which is considered serious. This is the conceptual framework and generic indicator categories, wherein we know that these are the ways that there are 3 ways to see how food security works. The food is available, the food is accessible, and lastly, whether the person is able to utilize the food or not. So if it is available, that does not mean that I'm food secure. Whether Do I have money to buy that food? That is accessibility. Number three is utilization. Once I have bought the food, can I eat it? For example, are my hands clear? Am I using water? Is there sanitation facility so that the food is there in my body and producing nutrition? Moving ahead, these are the food security indicators. If you can see, let me tell you the. Yes. So you can see process indicators. Process indicators are basically when we are talking of availability of the food. Moving out the outcome indicators. So coping strategy that I was talking about are the outcome indicators. That yes, the food is available, it's a process indicator. But whether the food is consumed and the person is nourished, that is the outcome indicator. Then comes the generic indicators and candidate indicators. That is very generic. You know, everywhere in the world, right from South Sudan to Kenya to many countries where we have issues of food insecurity, these are the generic indicators. Then you have benchmark indicators. We call them gold standards. For example, if I'm taking anthropometric measurements, the blood samples, these are called as the benchmark indicators of measuring food security. And then there are location specific indicators. So in my location, I have taken this area. This is actually basically a location specific indicator. Why? Because we have factory workers there and their conditions are not so good. They are underpaid. So that's a location that factory workers, how are they coping with the food insecurity issues? And food security is multifaceted, not just one indicator is possible. So you need to put in a lot of indicators to check whether they are food secure or not. And there are approximately 200 definitions and 450 indicators of food security. As Amartya Sen, you all be knowing him, the world famous Nobel laureate, Professor Amartya Sen points out that the existence of malnutrition is related to problems of food distribution and purchasing power, that is excess and utilization, rather than food shortage, since there has been sufficient food to feed the entire population of the world. Even in Africa and South Asia, where hunger is more severe, there are enough food to feed all the people in the country. So therefore, the relevance of my research is I need to know the problem of distribution and purchasing power. These are the literature review. I will quickly come to the public distribution system. It comprises of the targeted public distribution system. I need to target to a particular area. Yes, this needs more, this needs less. So need to target the area. Then you have fair price shops, which are there, government organized shops who are distributing and disseminating the food items. We have Food Corporation of India, which is managing the whole India, the distribution network. There are leakages in the system, there are pilferage, and there is something called as offtake and distribution that Food Corporation passes on to different states of India, and they pass on to different districts in India. And there is an underpurchase. Why people are not buying the food that the government is providing? There can be many reasons for that. One reason could be that I don't like the quality of the food that is provided by government. I would rather buy from the open market. Now, this is the hunger map, the latest hunger map of 2024, which is showing that the condition where India is, you can see from the map, it lies between 10% to 25%, the hunger statistics. So this is the source is the Food and Agriculture Organization, WHO, WFP, World Food Program, and UNICEF, IFAD. Further moving the research methodology, the research gap and rationale, research questions, research objective, hypothesis, and research framework. And research methodology is, we have a research design having a qualitative and quantitative data. That is a mixed method. We have tried to we try to get insights through qualitative data, and the propositions were crystallized, and then we conducted the quantitative survey. Now, the rationale and the gap in the study is 6 years from 2030, hunger and food insecurity trends are not yet moving in the right direction to end hunger and food insecurity by 2030. The indicators of progress towards global nutrition target similarity show that the world is not on track to eliminate all forms of malnutrition. Billions of people still lack access to nutritious, safe, and sufficient food. Now, way back when World Bank was funding the developing nations, that we are funding you can use the money as per your requirement. After that, they realized that there has to be some kind of accountability on the countries, on the developing nations. How are you utilizing our money that is provided by World Bank. So Millennium Development Goals came in place. After Millennium Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals came in place. So this is basically an accountability to set an accountability that countries should give answers to the World Bank. Now, the research questions, what are the different coping strategies? This I have brought from IFPRI Institute. Professor John Hoddinott has discussed these coping strategies to measure the frequency and severity of food security. What are the issues in the food aid interventions, such as PDS at Shah Jamal on food security? That is my target area. Objectives to analyze the coping mechanism adopted by the households with the help of indices of coping strategy. To study the food supply mechanism through the PDS model at Aligarh, that's a district in Uttar Pradesh in India, and the observations gathered from the district supply office and status of fair price shops owners at the place. Now, based on the literature review and research objectives of the study, following hypotheses have been formulated and tested. Public distribution system has no significant role to play in the food security at Shah Jamal. That's a place. My research framework looks like this, that these are the 6 questions along with others. These are the given questions by Food and Agriculture Organization. We put them with the targeted population in order to know the food security coping strategies. And this will help us in understanding how public distribution system works with this kind of situation. Now, this is design I have already discussed, scope and significance. It will uncover levels of food insecurity, sustainable strong proposals, design interventions in this area and other areas, identify the nature of food security. Research can be directed to target the right population. These are the questionnaire. This was the first part where the gender, age, characteristics, migrants and non-migrants, income group, occupation, whether they are factory owners or non-factory owners, PDS accessibility, PDS utilization, dependent children, education, sanitation, water facilities, etc. This is the second part of the question. This has been given by the Food and Agricultural Organization that we have to ask the household. So I surveyed 354 households. Of course, the lady of the house was supposed to answer the questions. So there were 354 households where I tried to take answers from them. Since it was a slum area, it was very difficult to get answers from them. However, we could do it. Now, this was the data analysis. From the quantitative data, we got to know the eating foods that are less preferred, decreased portion size of the man of the house, that's the bread earner, reduction in self-consumption, reduction in children's consumption, skipping meals in the last 7 days, skipping eating for whole day. Out of qualitative data that I was collecting through small cases, they were like productive assets like livestock, goats, cows, so that they can sell their milk, etc., the meat, distress sales, wage workers, illness, migration in search of work, and loans. So this is how, from the qualitative data, we got the quantitative analysis done. So in the qualitative data, in-depth interviews and case lists were prepared. In quantitative method, I used coping strategy index was prepared. Tables and statistical tools, results and analysis. Now, the major question that arises that what do we get from the data? We can summarize the data into following information: number of different strategies, weighted sum reflecting frequency of use, weighted sum reflecting frequency and severity of use. This was the data that you can see that the households were giving answers for these 6 questions. And this was how the data was taken. Analysis: out of 354, only 11 households has used 0 coping strategies, which means 1 household used only 2 strategies as coping strategies. 20 households adopted 3 strategies to sustain their livelihood. 54 households used 4 coping strategies to adapt the situation of insecurity. And 101 households are using 5 coping strategies to meet their requirement. Finally, 167 are adopting all 6 strategies to cope.
So to test the hypothesis. Yeah, you can. Your time's up.
Yeah. To test the hypothesis, we have taken variables like public distribution, accessibility, and utilization, along with the food security range. Now, let me move forward. This was the results and interpretation. The above table depict that there are an important relationship of public distribution system with respect to food security. As we can see, the households with higher frequency and severity have either no accessibility and hence no utilization of PDS. Further tables depict the relationship between PDS and factory, non-factory workers and PDS with migrants and non-migrants. These relationships also depict that the migrants and non-factory workers have less accessibility and utilization on PDS. The p-value is also very low, which rejects the null hypothesis and accepts the alternate that public distribution system has strong and significant role to play in the food security at Shah Jamal. Discussions and recommendation moving forward. I will come to this, issues and challenges, the beneficiaries, who will be the beneficiaries, the production, storage and transportation issues, targeting, implementation, distribution strategy, huge subsidy burden on the government, food safety and sustainability. Last, recommendations, the role of civil society, skill development, end-to-end computerization, which has happened now, as of now, one nation, one ration card policy in India, universalization, that is the same thing that I'm talking about, monitoring of government schemes, storage renovations, inclusive growth, urban health centers, and backward linkages. Further, role of new geospatial data, we are using it now, women emancipation, social protection systems, micro-enterprise development, increased efficiency, urban literacy, empowerment, self-help groups, holistic approach. Finally, infrastructure development, vigilance on fair price shop owners, schemes for the unidentified population, rapid old stock clearance, comprehensive monitoring of this National Food Security Act. Now, this is the value chain given by Boston Consulting Group. And with the help of World Food Program, they have constructed it, and they have given their consultancy over how do you improve your public distribution system. Thank you very much. These are the references and the suggested areas for future investigation.
Thank you very much.